What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Two Worlds Podcast. I'm Jake, and with me, as always, is the Rock Lee to my guy sensei. It's Casey. What's up, buddy?
Not much, man. Does this mean we're gonna get matching haircuts?
Yes, and green jumpsuits.
Perfect.
How was your week, dude?
Not too bad. It kind of sucks. We got rained out, and it like rained a lot. So it's like I don't know when I'm gonna get to get back to work so I can finish this crap. So
Yeah.
what about you, man? Did anything happen for you?
Yes. Over the weekend, I got engaged.
Ooh, how'd she pop the question?
Actually, I did. I know that
Oh
comes as a
wow.
surprise,
Okay.
but
Okay.
very happy. Very, very
I'm happy
happy.
for you, buddy.
Thank you. All right.
Our female viewership is going to go down like crazy now, though. Like, he's locked up. Just gonna have to turn this off.
Yeah, that's definitely what they're all thinking. All right, we'll get into our news. Not a lot this week, but there's some
No,
exciting bits in there.
it was a
So
slow news week a little bit.
I feel like that's how it is. One week it's nothing. The next we're gonna have like 40 things to talk about, and it's gonna be a 6-hour podcast. So, all right, I'll get it started off. I guess Hayden Christensen is now going to be in the live-action Ahsoka show. He's hopping around Star Wars sets over there at wherever they're recording it.
he must be so happy that the sequels were so hated because like now the Star Wars fans are just like, yes, Hayden Christensen's back. When before they're like, I hate this guy. He's terrible. And
Yeah.
now they just love him so much. And yeah, so I mean, good for him. I'm happy. But
and here's the thing, like, since it's done by Filoni and the other guy, Happy, what's his name?
Favreau.
Yeah, Jon Favreau. It's probably going to be really good, and then they'll just have that in their minds, like he was great and this is good. He's always been great. But it's whatever. I'm happy for him too. I never hated him. Like, clearly what we got with those wasn't great, but that was what he was given. So
yeah, in all honesty, it's like, unless you're Ewan McGregor, you can't make that crap look good.
Yeah. And Ewan McGregor is perfect.
Yeah. So speaking of Star Wars, I have a really dumb story. So there's a semi truck that I have to drive around every once in a while. It's the new one, and I hate it because it'll be like, and I explained it to Dad because he's like, "Why don't you like it? It's fun, it's great." I'm like, "Well, it's terrible because like you'll be driving it, and it'll like if you don't want to put your foot on the gas too badly because you're just trying to move it slowly." But then you kind of have to sometimes, and then it's like slow to go, but then it'll like pick up really quick. And I'm like, it's very much like Emperor Palpatine, where it's like, I'm so weak. And then it's like, and it just gets you. And you're like, it's like so hard not to wreck it when it does that crap. It's terrible.
Yeah.
Like you're trying to back up to a hopper and it just does that.
It's so funny that you mentioned that scene. Like, whenever I play Apex with my friend Trey, we quote that scene all the time. Like, one of us will get downed and we'll be like, "Don't let him kill me." What's funny though, if like anybody who hasn't watched that scene in a while, go back and watch it. You can find that on YouTube, because right after Palpatine throws Mace out the window, he just leans back and he goes, "Ah." It's like he took like a sip of ice cold water on a hot day, and once you see it, you'll never unsee it. So I'm sorry if I just cursed Star Wars for everybody, but it is so funny.
I mean, in all fairness, though, murdering a Jedi is like taking a sip of water for a Sith. So
That's true. You're not wrong. All right, and then I'll do one more and let you go. This was pretty interesting. Image announced that they're not doing second printings anymore.
That's something. I don't know if I'm going to say it's really smart, but it is something.
Well, they say it's because of the paper shortage, so I don't think it's going to be permanent. They just said you know, for the foreseeable future, they are not doing any additional printings. So
I gotcha.
If an image number 1 comes out, guys, make sure you pick it up. Otherwise, they're going to turn it into a show or movie, and it's going to be worth hundreds of dollars, and you'll have missed out.
Yeah, and where is a good spot to get that? Just thinking,
hey, if you're in the greater St. Louis area or even out of state, give me a call at comic headquarters. Out of country. We've got, I've seen the analytics. We've got fans out there. Give comic headquarters on Telegraph Road in St. Louis a call. We'll help you out.
There you go. Okay, so my first bit of news, this is like just slow news day type news, but there was a little bit of outrage about it, so I figured I'll talk about it. The Miss Marvel poster came out, and her powers are kind of like, they look more kind of bunkery and, Green Lantern-y, where like her fist is like an energy thing, and she's like got some like energy constructs behind her, and it's made a lot of people mad because they're like, why can't they just give her the other thing? Because then they're like, oh, she's not going to actually be transforming into Captain Marvel, which is like everyone knew she wouldn't, because you're not going to get Brie Larson for an episode to pretend she's this little girl. That wasn't going to happen. No, like you had to know that wasn't going to happen. So, but it does kind of like mess up one of that character's more interesting things early on. So I don't know how well it's going to work. You have any opinions on this, man?
Yeah, I do. Anybody that has ever told me that the changes they made to Thor isn't that big of a deal, I hope you're fans of Ms. Marvel and this hurts you. And did they change her powers up a little bit? Sure. But did they turn her into a fat, drunken idiot? No. So, look at the bright side, folks.
I mean, yet we don't know for sure what else happens.
That's true. I mean, she's a child, so that'd be pretty extreme for Marvel, but who knows?
It would be, but wouldn't put it past him, am I right?
All right. So Lunar also sent out emails this week to account holders. And one of the great things about Lunar is that they would bag and board any incentive variants. So like all your 1 in 25s, 1 in 50s, whatever, it would come in a bag and board so that the cover didn't get, color rubs or anything like that, which is great. And the bag and board shortage, man, it keeps biting, because they said due to that, they won't be doing that anymore until things get back to normal. So real unfortunate. It's nothing to be upset with Lunar about, it is what it is. Hopefully they go back to doing it when they're able to. And I'm happy to have gotten them up till now. So,
yeah. I like to think Diamond sent out a similar email to the people, and they're like, just so you know, since there's a shortage, we'll be less likely to be able to rip up your comics before they go in the package. We'll just have to put them in there normal. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Hey, maybe they'd get some business back.
Yeah. Okay, and I'll share my last bit of news. So Brandon Fraser from such hit things as Doom Patrol, Our Childhood, The Mummy, Encino Man, and many more has joined the cast.
You didn't even say my favorite.
The Mummy? That's everybody's favorite.
George of the Jungle.
Oh yeah, that's a good one too. My sister had the biggest crush on Brandon Fraser, and that was like her catnip. But yeah, he's joined the cast of Batgirl, and the rumor is he's going to play Firefly, which should be pretty cool. I really like the Brandon Fraser renaissance that we're going through right now, where it's just like everyone's just like, oh yeah, this dude had some really terrible things happen to him, and he's always been great, and he may end up winning an Oscar this year. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like I don't care about Oscars. Yeah, I don't care about Oscars, but it's like when it's a guy like that, I'm like, yeah, I hope he gets it. Just like how I hope, like when Jackie Chan won his like Lifetime Achievement Award, I'm like, I don't care about these things, but I'm happy for him.
Yeah, exactly. I think most people find that they love Brendan Fraser. There's got to be a movie out there that they've seen that's like, oh yeah, I forgot he was in it. That's great.
Yeah, like the only time I've ever seen it and I was like, man, this is bad, was like the other two Mummy movies, because like Mummy 1 is like so good, and then like they're like, you know what would make this movie better, throwing in a kid. And it's like, that never makes the movie better. That makes it worse. And then the third one, they're like, you know how everyone loves Brandon Fraser? Well, let's make his kid the main character. And it's like, no.
Yeah. Yeah, it was like they tried to replicate oh gosh, what was the kid's name in Indiana Jones?
Short Round?
Short Round.
Or
yeah,
no.
I want to say
Okay.
Short Stack. Those are pancakes.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You go to Denny's and you order a Short Round, they're like, they just look at you. Like, I always get those mixed up.
I know, right? Ridiculous. Anyway, it's like they tried to do that, but it just didn't work out as well.
No, because I mean, Short Round's adorable, and that kid was terrible.
Yeah. But no, I like him as Firefly. I think that's a great choice. And I also think that Firefly is a great choice for Batgirl's like first villain. I hope they take a lot from the actual story, Batgirl Year One, because that is an awesome, awesome story. And yeah, it'd be great.
And I think Firefly is gonna be one of those ones that would just be awesome live action in general. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I think it would work in Matt Reeves' universe also. I know they wouldn't get, Brandon Fraser for that, but yeah, any form of him would be pretty cool.
Just a grittier version of himself.
Yeah,
the same
awesome.
character. All right, and then my last bit of news, continuing on the comics train here.
Choo choo.
Choo choo. It looks like Marvel is canceling a few titles. We got Savage Avengers, Sword, and Excalibur are all missing from the January solicitations.
That's too bad. Like, Savage Avengers, what I read of it is a lot of fun. It is a very forgettable book, though. That's the main downside to it. And because it's just like, I forget that I like it, and I kind of forget, when it's on the emails. But the other two, they're probably gonna bring them back in some type of another X-Men title.
Oh, that's 100% correct. They've done it with almost every other book since like House and Powers of X has come out. Yeah, I need to go back and read Savage Avengers in trade, because every time I look at it, because like the team is always revolving, which is how an Avengers book should be.
It sounds like it kind of became like almost a Marvel team up with Conan.
Yeah.
As the main guy. Like, he's just interviewing them, and he's being like a wacky interview host.
Well, hey, then Savage Avengers showed Conan more love than Marvel has in general, I think.
Yeah.
I think it's Jerry Dugan's writing that, or was writing it for a while, so maybe he just really likes Conan.
He probably does, and they're probably like, well, we got the IP, we might as well use it.
Right. Anyway, yeah, that's all for the news. So we'll take a little ad break, and we'll come back and talk some comics. We'll be right back. All right, Casey, we're gonna have a little moral discussion here.
Okay, sounds good.
All right, so some dudes were in the shop last week, and this guy was like he didn't want my help, but he wanted him and his friend to find some comics for his 10-year-old son. And his choices were like Deadpool and like Purgatory, and there was another way. Oh, like Berserker, like the John Wick book.
Okay.
And like one of the creepy Spawn books. And he was just like, my son is 10 years old. It's about time he learns. He didn't say what he would be learning. He just kept saying, it's about time he learns.
Yeah, it's about time he learns. He's 10. He needs to learn.
So my question is, it's like age appropriateness. Like when do you think books like do you think that should follow hard the like the T for teen, or like the whatever, or do you think it's comics, who cares, it's whatever?
I mean, it's always kind of, to me, it comes down to each kid separately. Like, what's wild, and this is a little bit off subject, but like my nephew, he's 12, I think. I could be wrong, but he watches Meat Canyon videos and like he thinks they're hilarious. And because like he has a laptop, so and like I'm assuming this 10-year-old kid probably has access to the internet. It's probably not, covered up in any way, so it's like he's probably gonna watch whatever the hell he wants, and it's, he's probably seen worse. So, and like with a Deadpool book, I think should be fine for the most part, and I bet they've shown him the Deadpool movie, so he's probably like, I like Deadpool. He's Ryan Reynolds, and I think he's sexy, Dad. And Dad's like, it's time you learned, son.
It's time you learn. Yeah. Gosh, I absolutely hate that Disney and Marvel put Deadpool in one of the Ultimates, or not Ultimate Spider-Man. It's one of the Spider-Man cartoons with Drake Bell. You know which one I'm talking about?
Was that Spectacular?
It might have been, but either way, and they put him in like 1 or 2 issues, so kids are like, I want to read Deadpool, and I'm like, okay, but he just says fucking tacos a whole bunch. Like any time, like I can always tell when like a parent or a grandparent has no idea what they're in there buying, and I'm like, look, I feel obligated to let you know Deadpool is really not appropriate for your kid.
Yeah.
And most of the time they are very, very happy that I stopped them, because I can, like, you can tell when you look at somebody, you're like, they probably don't want their kid reading Deadpool.
Yeah.
And I'm sure the kids are probably hate me for it, but and sometimes the parents like, I don't care, they've heard worse. Like, all right, here you go.
Then you're like, well, here's the Deadpool Max series for you,
dude. That's what I'm saying. Like here's this nice little rating on there, just so you know what's in this. But all I can do is make them aware, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, that was I just kept laughing to myself. It's about time he learns, and thought I'd make it the topic this week. So,
well, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave us a comment. Say, is it about time he learns, or do you think he's already learned enough?
All right, folks, thanks for listening to the ad. And if you'd like to hear Casey and I have a little moral debate, it's not really a debate, but check it out over on YouTube. That is just Two Worlds Podcast on YouTube. But anyway, Casey, let's get into the comics that we read this week, my man. Which ones did you read?
So I read Catwoman, Lonely City, which was awesome, by the way. Green Lanterns, number 7. Superman, Son of Kal-El, number 4. Black Manta, 2 of 6. The Flash, 775. Catwoman, 36. Shazam, 4 of 4. The Death of Doctor Strange, number 2. Suicide Squad, number 8. Batman, 115. And Thor, number 18. What about you?
I just realized I missed Shazam, which makes me really sad.
I mean, you didn't miss much.
Really?
Yeah, I'm like really disappointed with that book.
Oh, that's too bad. Anyway, I read We Don't Kill Spiders, number 1. Nubia and the Amazons, number 1. Nightwing, number 85. Suicide Squad King Shark, number 2. Masters of the Universe Revelation, number 4. Suicide Squad, number 8. Catwoman, number 36. Death of Doctor Strange, number 2. Batman, number 115. Thor, number 18. And Catwoman, Lonely City, number 1.
Nice. I think you might have had more than me. That's how it sounded in my head.
I agree. So I will talk about We Don't Kill Spiders, number 1.
When you saw that title, were you like, maybe you don't?
I'll tell you what, the only reason I picked this up is because of listener and friend of the podcast, Dan Nichols. Hello, Dan. He put it on his poll, and I wasn't going to order. I think this actually came out last week, so I went to order it for him, and it turns out to be like a Viking witchcraft story, and I was like, okay, Dan, okay, I'll check it out. And it was pretty cool. So it's written and drawn by Joseph Schmalke. And so This guy gets hired by a Jarl to investigate a bunch of killings in his village. Like 5 families have all been brutally murdered, all decapitated, heads are gone, and there's just weird like runes and stuff drawn in blood all over these houses. And the Jarl is like, thanks for coming, Bjorn. Your reputation goes far and wide on how great you are at solving these types of problems. So please go take care of it. You have all of the resources at your disposal that I can give you. And so the dude goes and looks, and he doesn't recognize any of the runes or anything like that. So he actually goes to the witch's hut, who the Jarl swears up and down is the one responsible for this, because he wants her to look at it, knowing that she's a magic user and maybe she can help decipher these runes that he can't understand. And she's like, well, I can see why they think it was me, because they all killed my whole family like several years ago and then banished me. So I've just kind of been out here doing magic in my hut by myself.
Turning tricks.
She's like, anyway, yes, I'll help you. And like a spider comes down and lands on Bjorn's shoulder and he smashes it. And she's like, hey, don't do that. And she takes it and her eyes go crazy and she whispers a spell and the spider comes back to life. And she's like, oh, I'm not just a trick turning witch. I'm a full on necromancer. So anyway,
romance her to turn tricks.
That's right. So she goes with him to one of the houses where the murders happened. She's like, okay, I'm going to go in there and take care of it, but I'm going to need all this stuff. And so they bring it to her and she's like, I'm going to lock the door. And no matter what you hear inside the house, don't come in, or come in at your own risk, basically. So the Jarl and everyone's out there and he's like, I can't believe you're letting this witchcraft happen, in our village, and she's just going to kill us and blah, blah, blah. And the witch is in there and she's doing a spell to talk to the souls of the dead family that's there. And when she goes into her vision thing, she sees that the souls are dead themselves. She's like, well, crap, now I can't talk to them. And then this super creepy, like pig man berserker thing shows up. And he's terrifying. And he's just like, the master accepts your offering of spilled blood and I will obey your call. What do you ask of me? And then, that's how it ends. So I don't know what's going on with that, but I mean, this was a cool book. Like the art's great, the colors are great, it's spooky, it's got Vikings. I'm all in on it. So yeah, it's definitely a strong 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice, man. Sounded pretty interesting.
Yeah.
By the way, this is the timed trial Ultraman fun time brought to you by Our Man.
Perfect.
We gotta change the name every time.
Yep.
So first for me is gonna be Green Lantern number 7, and this is by I know Jeffrey Thorne does the old writing parts, but gotta find the other. Yeah, it's Jeffrey Thorne and Tom Rainey and Marco Santucci on the art. And so yeah, John is talking to this one new god, and the new god shows when the back when the new gods were very new, they were all waging war on each other, and this is even before Darkseid was Darkseid, and they were fighting, and the Guardians were like, oh, this is before the Guardians even had like Green Lanterns. They were just like little Smurfs kind of going around with their powers doing stuff, and they're like, oh, they can't live because they're bad. And so then they decide to I guess end them, but then like they try to the good guy new gods are trying to explain to him like, hey, you shouldn't do that, we're good. blah, blah, blah. And then John ends up getting zapped with some stuff, and he's got a cool new suit. So we get to see John with his new suit. So at least he's not going to be depowered this whole time. So it might get more interesting. But it's just like, I'm going to say this. Jeffrey Thorne seems to think he needs to like over explain everything, have very like how like Bendez has like pages of dialogue. It's like that, but at least Bendez is interesting, or not interesting, but funny. I'll give it like, there's some humor there. This is just kind of like not good sci-fi, writing, and it's pages of it. But then the next thing we get some Joe and Simon, and they're all talking, and it's just like, and like Kid Lantern is so powerful that even though she's knocked out, she's making these constructs in her sleep, and she doesn't like any of these people. But then Simon is able to talk to her even though she's asleep, and she's now trusting, like, got rid of all the constructs. And it's like, I like Joe, and Simon seems cool, but it's just like, wow, I just do not care about this character, Kid Lantern, and I hate the art. Like, man, this book is getting like, if I didn't love Green Lantern so much, this book would be done already. Like, but I'm gonna give it a few more before I end it, because my God, I'm not enjoying myself. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10.
You're gonna give it a few more, yet you read Immortal Hulk for 50 issues.
Well, that one was like first 25, not bad, and then it started getting bad. I'm like, I don't know about this, and then it was like, I came this far.
All right. Next for me is Nubia and the Amazons #1, written by Stephanie Williams and Vita Ayala. And Aletha Martinez on pencil. Oh, had a burp right there. Sorry, folks. On pencils.
You nasty.
I know. So it's kind of a Nubia origin story. She comes out of this thing called the Well of Souls, and we get some background on this character called the Caretaker, whose real name is Magala. She takes care of the Well of Souls. And then it's like Magala just loves trinkets from man's world. So whenever Diana was off on her adventure, she would bring back Magala trinkets from man's world. And it's just like we see some of it. It's like an ink pen and just like
so
random
it's very
stuff.
much like the Little Mermaid's
Yes,
treasure trove. I gotcha.
Yes, 100%. And
she's a raccoon, that is what you're saying.
Yeah. She just, or like a magpie. They just like shiny things.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it's like how my dog is. She'll just take stuff, and then like it can be anything, and then like run out to the yard and leave it in a spot, and then she'll get some other piece of trash and run it to that same spot. She's like, this is my treasures.
We all have our vices, I guess. But anyway, whenever Nubia came out of the Well of Souls, the well like closed itself up, and for centuries nobody else had come out of it. Well, now it's normal, regular times. Hippolyta's off on the Justice League, and Nubia's Queen of the Amazons, and the well opens again. And so a bunch of new Amazon sisters are coming up out of the well, and Magala's there with her baskets of sporks and buttons and who knows what else. And she's just like, I just feel that each of you, like, these are suited for each of you, handing them out, and they're all just like, oh, thanks. And I'm like, what?
This is trash.
Yeah, I know, right?
This is just a ball of tinfoil. So when they all came out of the well, did anyone go, well?
No, there was a huge missed opportunity there. Anyway, so there's like a big welcoming ceremony, and then Nubia has some like visions in her sleep. Some might call them dreams, but something. Oh, and one of the other Amazon sisters has visions too. And so I guess one Amazon at a time, there's like shifts. They go and watch over Doom's doorway. We have no idea what that is yet. They just hinted at it in here, as well as the regular Wonder Woman title. And the visions are like Doom's doorway opens up and the end of the world's going to happen or something like that. So it ends with the other Amazon who just got done with her shifts at the Doom's doorway. Sounds like a bad fast food place. Got done with her shift. Anyway, it ends with her having that vision, and then another sister's like, "What did you see?" And she's like, "The end of things," and then it's to be continued. So I don't know. I have a guess on who's behind it, simply because at the last panel, it seems like one of the sisters has been turned to stone. So maybe Medusa is coming back. But anyway, it was a fine issue. I'm gonna give it one more to like hook me, but I mean, I just don't care about new Amazons being birthed out of this well, and then the trash lady just handing out stuff to each of them. Like the art's fine, and like I do enjoy some of the lore stuff that happens because I'm a sucker for that, but it just wasn't all terribly interesting. So yeah, well, we'll give it one more. We'll see who's behind the door and go from there. But this is probably like a 5 for me.
Yeah, I mean that is one really hard thing, since they're not putting Nubia in the real world and it's just her dealing with Amazonian stuff. It's kind of like that's a hard hook, you know.
It is. And I had a totally open mind. I was willing to go for it, but
yeah. All right, so next for me is Superman, Son of Kal-El. This is by Tom Taylor with who did the art? Just put it in a normal spot, DC. Be normal. Why can't you be normal? Daniel Day Nicciolo on the art. And fun fact, this is a little fun thing I forgot to mention in the news. The colorist for Superman, Son of Kal-El, did you hear what happened with him?
Yes, I did.
Okay, I thought it was kind of funny because he like commented on a bunch of like anti-John being bi stuff, and then they're like, he's the colorist, and then they're like, okay, not anymore. We're gonna put hi-fi on it, and it's just like, but then someone in the comments like, that makes like it's good hi-fi's on it. His colors like match the bisexualness of it. I'm like, what? Maybe I'm colorblind, but I don't see that. I don't get how that works at all.
No, hi-fi is an amazing colorist, but I don't think it has anything to do with that.
Yeah,
I saw this stuff too, and the thing that killed me is that his quote was like, "I'm just sick of them changing these characters." I'm like, dude, he is basically a brand new character. Like, there's nothing to change. It's not been touched on.
Yeah, it'd been funny if he just meant that as like, I hate that they're changing these characters. John should still be a kid.
Right? In which I agree, sir.
Yeah, I mean, everyone that read John as a kid agrees, except for Bendez. So, fair enough. But okay, so yeah, this starts with the dinner from last time, and then you get like, this was one of the really neat panels. Is the person that they saved last time gets dropped in there, and so John, in this really cool splash page, even though the art, in my opinion, is kind of lacking, it shows like him thinking at super speed, and then he goes through and saves everyone except for his one friend who's still just his friend. And because he can't, because the dude is intangible. Like, as he goes to touch him, his hand goes right through. And so he saves the other people, goes back to where the house is, and excuse me. And Hippolyta shows up. She's gonna go fight the old girl that just got dropped as a bomb, and she gets back-fisted and flies off. And so, like, because this house was under the JLA's protection, so like they didn't pick up on slow moving plane flying over their house and dropping someone. It was till after the damage. It's like, geez, guys, you'd need to get on your job a little bit better, but whatever. And then Wally is running towards, the thing now, and John gets there first, which is also pretty stupid because John shouldn't be faster than Superman, and Superman isn't even close to Wally. So I thought it was pretty lame. But then John then explains everything, tells him like, oh, this girl needs to be protected. What happened? Why did you get taken away from Star Lab? And then Tom Taylor, amazing writing. They took me away. Who did? I don't know. Just great. But yeah, so they John talks to Wally for a little bit, and that was a really neat moment. And then they John's mad. He wants to talk to the leader of this country. And that's one of the things too, though. John shows all of this because his buddy, I'm blanking on his name, gave him the info on the place in a tablet. He reads it all, takes it to Lois, and Lois is like, this is all, it's all really good. It's like, how did you not know about this? You are literally the best reporter. And that's one of the things I'm having so much trouble with this story. It's like, yeah, Lois is awesome, and yet Lois is like, this guy's bad, huh? It's like, come on.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I know you're trying to make your new guy look awesome, but don't lower Lotus. She should be able to be like, yeah, but there's nothing we can do because he's another, everyone knows, but nothing you can do because they're so advanced or some nonsense that. Yeah. And so, but then something happens to John's powers, and that's how it ends. And this is actually probably the best issue so far. I still don't know if I'm going to keep up after, like I said, issue 5 is where I'm going to for sure draw the am I going to stay or not, because I'm still just not been oh my God. But this issue was probably the best so far. I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. I'm still not blown away. I was higher on it until I started talking about it. And then I was like, oof, I really did not like this at all. Okay.
You just want to resell that number 5.
I mean, not really. I don't care that much about it. But I mean, if 100%, if I got somehow the original colorist version of it, I'm like, that's the one that's going to be worth money.
Honestly, I think it's been so over ordered that there's no way it's going to be worth anything after the first week.
That's the thing. That's another thing that I saw in the news. They were talking about this being already on second printing before it even comes out and all this other stuff. And it's like, well, let's hope the comic shops move it, because I know how you've talked about before, that doesn't really go into the numbers. It's just what you order, So
yeah, I mean, there's no doubt that the people's there's a craze right now for additional printings.
Yeah,
because sometimes second printings will be their first cover appearance or something like that. That won't be the case with this, because I think the B cover of this issue is the one where they're actually making out on a rooftop or whatever. So,
and then there's that other one that looks like the Yahweh manga cover, which it's who's the target? I don't get this. Who's reading comics for this type of content when it's we just want to see them, fighting and saving the day and stuff, not seductively looking at each other. And that's for any couple, no one wants Batman. I mean, okay, I guess there's some weirdos that want Batman and Catwoman making out on their cover, but it's I don't.
It's Tom King.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, man. I think, and I knew this was gonna happen whenever they sent out the big email, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they just wanted it to up the numbers on this. There was some I know it's well over 100,000 copies were ordered. So I mean that's 90s Jim Lee X-Men numbers right there.
Yeah, and I will say though, part of the reasoning why, and this is one of the things that someone mentioned on Twitter too, was they comic book shops got blindsided with that Robin one. Someone read it early that this happened and then put it on Twitter, then everyone freaked out, and then comic shops oh no, and so now this way they're if we break it early, this won't put the comic book shops in such a crappy position like the last time.
They're not looking out for us doing this.
Fair enough. I'm just trying to give them the benefit of the doubt.
They want article clicks.
Yeah.
I wish that were the case. I mean, I don't know. I almost prefer it to be the other way with Robin, because then it's like, okay, if you are going to resell, at least it's kind of limited and it makes sense. But
yeah,
people are going to try to sell this at $20 a pop on the day it comes out, and some dummies are going to pay for it, even though 200,000 copies were made and you can get one anywhere.
Mm-hmm.
If shops are limiting, which they should be, but not all of them do. So it's whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna need 50 of those copies. I'm gonna resell them for $20 a piece.
Yeah, good luck.
This investment won't go bad.
All right. Next for me is Nightwing number 85. It's written by Tom Taylor and art is done by Robbie Rodriguez. Yeah, so this book is essentially just Nightwing and Batgirl, Barbara, going to fight Seer, who is the one that hacked Oracle's network and is telling everybody all this bad stuff. And we get a little bit of Tim and Cassie and Stephanie in there too, which is cool. But yeah, anyway, the Seer basically just rigs the clock tower that was Babs's headquarters to explode. And at the end, spoiler alert, we're made to think that the other two Batgirls are up there. So
that was a spoiler alert.
Yeah.
Because of Stephanie. She used to be spoiler.
Yes.
Do you get it?
I get it. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So yeah, half the issue is that, the other half is like flashback stuff between Dick and Barbara. And then there's like some fear toxin. Like they try to get into this. I don't know. I don't think it's where like Seer is, but it's like Barbara's backup headquarters. Anyway, it's rigged with like fear toxin. So each one thinks they see the other one dying and they freak out. And then Tim shows up and like snaps them out of it. And then they kiss. And yeah.
Tim kisses like all three of them?
Like Tim and Dick kiss.
Yeah, okay. I thought it was like Tim grabs Barbara, grabs Dick, and he's like, okay, let's kiss.
No, but here's the lame part is like, let me find the panel. It happens, and Tim just goes, oh, finally, with a little smirk on his face. I'm like, what do you mean finally? They've been on again, off again for decades.
How funny would it have been if like when Nightwing thought that Barbara died, he's like, hey, Corey.
Fire.
How you doing?
Know, right? Like, hey, we got a situation in Gotham. Can you come help us out? But anyway. So I don't know. Like, you're not missing much of anything if you skip this, but it says next is Batgirls, and to read what happens, read Batman 116 to find out. So I don't know. This was all just kind of more set up for Fear State that really doesn't matter in the end.
How you liking Fear State stuff so far? Because I've been, as everyone knows, not the highest.
Honestly, I think the best of all of it is probably Rambee's Catwoman.
Fair enough.
He's really like making something out of nothing because he's forced to, and I think it shows how good of a writer he is for it. But hands down, if I have to read Future State, I'm choosing Catwoman. It's the most interesting.
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, so next up for me is going to be Black Manta. I almost said Black Adam. Black Manta, number
Shazam,
2 of 6.
Sir.
Yeah, sorry. And this is by old Chucky, Please Don't Call Me Charles Brown, and Valentin de Landro on the art. And this was pretty fun. Yeah, I mean, kind of more stuff explaining with the whole, I'm this rock thing is doing stuff, and you get some Black Manta doing some crazy stuff, and we also get to see old Gentleman Ghost.
Nice.
Which I love that character. That's one of those characters that's like should be in more stuff, but I get why he's not. Like, he's super interesting, but it's pretty lame too. But but yeah, it's like it jumps around a lot though. That's like one of the main downsides of this issue. The art's pretty solid. The story itself, it's like fine, but it doesn't really. I think the editor should have kind of jumped in on this one and been like, get more focused, dude, because it's kind of all over the place. So yeah, for that, I'm gonna give it a probably 4 out of 10. I'm still interested in this story, and I think that helps that it's a mini series and not a full series, because if it was a full series, I probably would just drop it after this one. But I'll just do all 6 unless something really bad happens next time.
All right. I'm going to be less wordy on my next few because we're at 37 already, almost halfway done, and we're not halfway through our comics. All right. Suicide Squad King Shark #2. This was written by Tim Seeley and art was done by Scott Collins. So we do get to see more cool fight stuff between all the champions. It's funny that you mentioned Gentleman Ghost, Casey, because he's in this book too.
Nice. The Gentleman Ghost Renaissance.
Yep.
Can't wait.
Waller basically, I don't know, somehow gets Etrigan and Gentleman Ghost to fight King Shark's dad, the god of dragons, sharks, sorry. As well as this crazy like harpy lady who like kidnaps the shark god's like devout follower that birthed King Shark. Like this is like a bonkers book, man. Anyway, yeah, and then the girl, what's her name? Defacer, is that it?
Yes, yeah, it is.
Like graffiti artist that's here with King Shark ends up going out and sleeping with the champion of men that's here at this competition because she really likes him. And
well, I mean, he is the champion of men, best we got.
I know, right? Anyway, then at the end, Defacer and King Shark kind of make up. She's like, hey, I'm sorry that we're not friends. You're actually one of my best friends, and I need your help getting my anger under control. And this is like mostly stupid, but kind of funny. King Shark is like, I'm winning my fights, but I'm kind of losing some steam, and I've got like a long way to go still. I need like more rage. You need to keep it under control, but I need more. She's like, oh, I think I got something that can help you out. So the next fight, King Shark is fighting this like other harpy lady, and King Shark looks up to the stands, and Defacer is there and starts singing an obvious parody of Baby Shark, which just sends him into a blind rage, and he like rips this hawk lady in half.
Nice.
And that's how it ends. This book is just plain dumb fun from start to finish, and it is rather enjoyable. It was a cool issue, so 8 out of 10 for me.
Nice, man. Every time you said harpy lady, though, I was always thinking of my Valentine's favorite battle monster to use in Yu-Gi-Oh. Okay, so next up for me is going to be Flash 775, and this is by Jeremy Adams and Fernando Pasarin. And so last issue, this big old medieval weapon landed in the ground, and they had Superman try to pull it out, but he couldn't, even though he needs to learn how to pull out, because I mean clearly he has John, but then also like look at this, he's pulling it towards him like it's a lever. It's not a lever, Superman. You got to pull up, like use your flight and pull up.
You're a farm boy, you should know this.
Yeah, I mean, heck, he's smart. He should know this. I mean, you're not gonna just like pull it towards you like it's a big lever, but whatever. The art in this is really good, and like this thing is making everybody mad. So like Superman leaves, he's kind of acting like a jerk, and Wally's like, that's weird. And then Mr. Trevor starts acting like a jerk. Linda starts acting like a jerk. All the people that work with Wally are acting like jerks, and then it turns out, oh, it's the big spear thing. And so then they find out, all the supervillains want it to, and then this, who's the dude that shows up? Some dude, his name's Starbreaker. I recognize the outfit. I didn't really recognize the name. He was an old school Green Lantern villain. And it turns out this spear is, what's his name? Crap, I'm blanking on his name. I have to find it really quick. Oh, what is his? The dude that has the little, Eclipso. That's it.
Okay.
And so he this thing's actually Eclipso. So Eclipso's got this dude possessed now. So now that's the thing. And then he just flies off. And so Flash is like, well, crap, I gotta clean stuff up and get this is gonna be a big thing to worry about. But since in Wonder Woman, I'm assuming this is because of Wonder Woman's fault, she wouldn't help Dr. Fate. He had to go and get Wally, and he brings him in, and he's all beat up. So thanks a lot for Wonder Woman for nothing. This is like my own head continuity. I don't know if that's actually what happened, but
I mean, we don't know. It could be.
Yeah. So he now has to do some stuff with Dr. Fate, which should be a ton of fun. I like this book. Some of the villains that showed up, it was like, yeah, you're kind of jobbing these guys out, because I'll read that really quick. We had because there's some cool ones. It was like Gorilla Grodd, Ultra Humanite, the Gigantic Woman, Dr. Light,
Giganta.
Yeah, a Major Force was there, which I did not like. And then Prometheus was there too. It's like,
dude, there's a Major Force renaissance too.
I know. I mean, let's hope he doesn't do what he does best, putting women in fridges. But yeah, I like this issue. It was just like they should have chose like better villains. That's like my main knock on it. But otherwise, I liked it. I'm gonna give it a solid 8 out of 10.
I saw the cover for the next issue, which has Fate on it, and I was like, I'm probably gonna pick that up.
Nice.
Okay, next for me is Masters of the Universe Revelation number 4. Story and art is by Kevin Smith and Rob David, with the script by Tim Sheridan and art done by the amazing Mindy Lee. So yes, this is the last issue of this miniseries. Teela and He-Man show up and try to stop Skeletor and what's her name? Evil Lynn. And Teela's like, we don't know anything about He-Man. Like, who is He-Man? If King Randor doesn't come out of this coma he's in due to the monster attack that Skeletor did on him, like, who's gonna be our ruler? He-Man? We don't even know who he is. She's like, and isn't it kind of funny that every time He-Man shows up, Prince Adam is nowhere to be seen? And everyone's just kind of like giving each other side eye, like, uh-oh. So yeah, anyway, she keeps like getting fired up real bad, and Skeletor and Evil Lynn get away. But this crazy, I mean, she's almost like the freaking Phoenix here, right?
Yeah.
Whatever that is, she lets off so much like power that it somehow snaps like King Randor out of it. And they kind of pull an identity crisis here. Not in how you think.
Okay.
Where the Masters of the Universe like bird lady sorceress. I don't know what her name is.
No, you got it right. Bird lady sorceress.
Keep going. She kind of erases the short-term memory of Tila so that she stops digging into this Prince Adam as He-Man nonsense. And yeah. Anyway, then like we cut to Skeletor and Evil Lyn, and they're kind of like in the mind of that monster. And then the last page, we see the same eye of the monster, but a like silhouette in its eye for, I'm guessing, somebody that shows up that's supposed to be a big deal in the Revelation show, because it is a prequel. And that's kind of how it ends. It's very open-ended because they want you to go watch the show, which, I mean, that's the whole point of it. So
you gonna watch that now, or you have to finish all the episodes of Naruto first?
Oh, it's probably going to be a while. Even though I guess there's not that many episodes, like 4 episodes out or whatever. So maybe I will just power through it. But anyway, this was still pretty neat. Despite the questionable removing memory because she's asking too many questions thing. Story was still fun. The art is some of my favorite comic art I've seen here lately. I think Skeletor is like a genuinely interesting and cool villain in this series, where in the show he's just, I mean, you know how he is. I do my impression, but we don't need to hear it again.
Yes, we do.
I am not always nice. Anyway, but yeah, it's cool. I like this book, and overall I think I would give the series like probably a 9. Like I really liked it, and I'm sure there's some diehard He-Man fans that would disagree, but you know, this isn't their show, it's my show, and it's a 9.
Our.
And that's my review.
All right. I'm done with all of my comics except for our doubles, I'm pretty sure.
Me too.
Perfect. Then so you want to start, we want to do Catwoman, Shazam, Doctor Strange, Suicide Squad, Batman, Thor, and then Lonely City.
You went way too fast, and also I didn't read Shazam.
Oh shoot, I forgot about that. Then I will talk about Shazam really quick, aka the disappointment. So this is Shazam issue 404. This is by Timmy Scher and Clayton Henry. It's Tim Sheridan for the new listeners.
Oh, T-Share.
Yeah. But so Shazam is talking to the new Black Adam, and he kind of explains who he is, kind of explains everything that's going on. They end up saving the day against the Thing. Shazam gets his powers back. And, you know, we don't really get any closure with the Freddy stuff, which was like lame as hell. And because like you think that they're like, there's a part with the hospital where you think they're talking to Freddy, but it's not. And you're just like, what was the point of this? And it's just also like how you complained last issue where it's like the walls of dialogue, you know, this is worse. You don't get like a lot of like, there's not much in the way of like cool fights either. They're mostly just running away, and then they end up kind of beating the thing that they were trying to beat up, but like that barely lasted any time. And it's kind of setting up for some stuff to do with the Devil's Kid at the end. This is just very much a letdown. You'll have to read it and tell me if you actually liked it, but I really didn't. And it's like, it's too bad because the first 2 issues of this series were so just dang good. Yeah. And then these other 2, it's kind of like, it's just, I don't know. I was not feeling it. I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10.
Okay. What about the series overall, since there's like highs and lows?
I'm going to go with a 6 overall, because the first 2, I think we both gave it like a 9 or a 10. And then these other 2, we were both like pretty kind of, and then this, like the end was just really bad.
Okay.
Okay, so next up, do you want to do Catwoman, Doctor Strange, Suicide Squad, Batman, Thor, and then Lonely City?
Yes, that sounds great.
Awesome. I'll let you start up with Catwoman then.
All righty then. We've got Catwoman number 36, written by Ram V and art done by Nina Vacueva and Laura Braga. I actually thought the art was spectacular on this one, man. I don't know about you. There's Casey's dogs in the background.
Yeah, I'll try to edit this out, but we'll find out if that actually works.
They're just really excited for Catwoman. They're like, where is she?
Yeah, they're like, we hate her.
Anyway, like I said, for Fear State stuff, I think this was like pretty good. Like it held my interest. I like this band of misfit villains like teaming up to try and save Alleytown. Harley was pretty enjoyable. I think Ram V writes her well, which doesn't happen as often as it should.
In all fairness, though, we do say a lot. Harley's written really well here. So I think it does happen more than we give credit to.
Two writers.
Fair enough.
Yeah, anyway. And in the end, like the big reveal, I was like, whatever. But what did you think about it?
Thought it was perfectly fine. It didn't blow me away at all. Like the last issue I think was better. The art though is really, really good. And I'm interested. I'm still interested to see where it's going, which I wouldn't have said about Catwoman like a year ago. So that's a big thing.
Yeah. I'd probably give this one a 7.
That's about where I'm at too. So
okay.
Next up is The Death of Doctor Strange. This is issue number 2. It's by Jed McKay and Lee Carpet on the art. And I like this one a good deal, but I didn't like it near as much as the last issue. What did you think?
I'm in the same boat. I mean, the first one, it's like, it's all just fun Stephen Strange stuff throughout his day. And this, like, we have to get more of the villain and what's actually going on. So there's setup stuff.
Yeah.
The villains are spooky. I don't understand why we need all the people that are there for Strange, and then it's like, oh, and also here's the Avengers. Like, I think it should be one group or the other.
I get why the Avengers showed up, because they're doing all of these dang tie-ins. So there's like, we have to give a reason why the Avengers would be there, you know? So yeah. I get that. And yeah, I do hate though how they do this whole thing. It's like, Thor shouldn't have been there, in my opinion, because he's too strong of a character. And then and like with Ms. Marvel and Iron Man, they can lose because it's magic versus science. And so you can do that cop out, but when Thor's magic, it's like you can't have him just lose, be like, oh, because of magic. Like, you can't do that. Like, he just gets beat, and it's not like that's making him look weaker when he really isn't. You know, like sure, he's no Hercules, but but it's still like having him lose like this. It's just, I don't know. Like,
and here, can I also add to that? In his book, he's like, I'm not leaving Asgard, and also, spoiler alert, he doesn't have Mjolnir right now. And then he's here with the Avengers with Mjolnir.
Yeah.
It bugs me. And I know it shouldn't matter, but it does matter.
Yeah, no, I agree. I'm not a big fan of that type of stuff either. So that was kind of a knock. And I will say this too. The villain, like, there's the villain with the stone head, which I'm like, that's pretty creepy and cool. Like, we've not seen that before. Like, it's made of worms and has a stone head. What? But then the other two, they just look like knockoffs of like Thanos's kids or whatever that were in the Avengers movie. And then where I think it was Infinity is where they first showed up. They just look like, they look like ripoffs of the Black Order. So I was like, I thought they were kind of lame, but I do like this whole stuff with like how Doctor Strange just took a week of his life away so that if he ever got murdered, this guy, like, it could solve who he was. Thought that was really interesting. I like that part of it a lot.
Me too. And also, it's funny where he's talking to Cap and he's like, look, Cap, I got to figure out who killed me. And Cap's like, okay, but, and he's like, yeah, all right, fine.
I just love how, like, there's enough crap that happens in the Marvel universe where they're just like, okay, we'll roll with it. I don't know what the heck's going on, but we'll go with, you from the past is trying to figure out who killed you in the present. Why not?
Right. It's like even Cap knows it's not going to stick.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where are you at on this one?
I'm probably at an 8. Little let down because I love the first one so much, though.
I'm going to give it a 7.
Okay.
All right. Next, we've got Suicide Squad number 8. And this is written by Robbie Thompson. And art was done by Eduardo Pansica and Dexter Soy. And I don't know about you, Casey, but I thought this was a pretty fun issue.
I didn't like it so much personally. I like the art a lot, but
oh, the art is so good.
Yeah, the main thing that I don't like about it, and you can say, "Oh, this is the character," and I agree it is. So I'm not saying like I'm not knocking Robbie for the way he wrote Ambush Bug, but Ambush Bug annoys the crap out of me. Like I like Ambush Bug in small doses, where he's voiced by Henry Winkler, but when I was reading him in this, I'm just like, oh man, this is like the most annoying version of Deadpool. And so I just didn't enjoy that too much. But other than that, it was still a good time. And I'm really more excited about what happened at the end of the issue for more of that, because I think that's really cool.
I agree. The Ambush Bug stuff didn't annoy me near as much as it did you. But I think it's mostly because I haven't read Deadpool or a character like that in so long that I'm like, oh, this is fine. It's just who he is. So
yeah.
But I agree that team at the end has me very excited.
Yeah.
What do you think about just in general? Like we can talk about it. Spoilers here. I don't know. Just what do you think about each member?
I like it a lot. The only one I'm like kind of on is the Parademon, but like Mirror Master is such an underrated Flash villain in my opinion. The crap that he can do, it's crazy. Cheetah is super dang cool. And I don't care about Peacemaker since he's probably going to be a part of it. But yeah,
right.
Like I said, the Parademon's the only one I'm kind of like puzzled on. I don't know how that's going to work too well.
Back to the Ambush Bug thing. I really like that Robbie Thompson could help make fun of DC, saying, well, he's got a series coming out, so he's bound to have a mini comic series too. Like that was super funny. But
yeah, did you like the team? Like, are you excited about seeing more of them?
Yeah, like I need to know the background details on the Parademon, because it's like, did they say we put a bomb in your head? Like he doesn't care. Like Parademons are dumb. They just fly off and then you detonate it. So there's got to be more to that. But yeah, how the heck did Rick Flag get Mirror Master, Cheetah, and a Parademon to team up? Like, and Robbie Thompson, I think, is good enough that he's going to make it work.
Yeah, I like Robbie Thompson a lot, so it should be pretty cool. But yeah, like I wouldn't be like, if it wasn't Robbie Thompson, I probably wouldn't come back for another time because I was pretty annoyed with the Ambush Bug. But I'm like, I like Robbie Thompson, so I'm gonna have to give it another go. So I'm at about a 6. What about you?
I'm actually at an 8 on this one. I don't think Ambush Bug will be around for very much longer.
No, I don't.
It sounded like
either.
they just needed him to like get to hell, and they've done that. So
yeah. Okay, so next up is Batman, and this is with James Tynion. And where are, like, I hate DC. I swear. Who else is on the art? Okay, so we got Bengal and Jorge Jimenez on the art. I knew Jorge would be, but I forgot the other dude's name. But yeah, did you have any big thoughts on this?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it's stupid that how easily, what's his name, Sean Mahoney or whatever, is just like, yeah, okay, Scarecrow, I'll follow you. Let's go do this thing.
I mean, it kind of is, but kind of isn't. He's been infected with the fear stuff, and then it's also like that new fear stuff can kind of change the way your mind works. So I get that. I thought it was kind of dumb that they're just like, oh, Queen Ivy's place, and she has control over everything. We're gonna send some troops down to get her. And it's like, well, I mean, did they even say how they found her? Really? They just kind of knew she was there.
Well, they've got drones.
Yeah, and then I do like to, and more. This is a more of a sarcastic like. It's got all of these people, like all of the stuff they're doing, and then it's like it just looks like the two of them just had awkward sex. It's just like oh, like that's what the Nightwing and Barbara, Nightwing and Barbara are put their clothes back on. It looks like it's kind of stupid, but yeah, Miracle Molly is awesome, and Batman can take a punch that would hurt Superman, and he can get up and wipe his mouth off. It's like, how strong is he? And then she's like, so strong, Superman would feel it. And he's like, oh, good thing I'm stronger then, right? And so then she's able to take the gauntlets off because she's so much better than everybody else. And then Batman's like, well, now I can beat him up. And then he doesn't get hit once after that, though. So it's like, what's the point of taking the gauntlets off? Doesn't make any sense. And then he knocks him out. And then, yeah, I don't know. I'm still just kind of like, ugh, on this whole thing.
Also, I'm probably just dumb, but who's this?
I'm betting that's the new Batman.
Oh, like the Fox kid?
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, I assume, but it's like, why does his face look wrapped?
Because he covers that up so you don't know that he's black.
Oh, well, see, I'm not reading it.
I'm not reading it either, but that's the only thing that I could think of why they would do that. So then, like, people would still assume he's the regular Batman,
Right.
But I don't know that for sure.
And then taking a page out of Mr. Miracle for that.
And then next is Batgirls in Clueless, and this is by Becky Cloonan and Michael W. Conrad with Jorge Corona on the art. You like this story?
If I'm honest, I liked this more than the normal story.
Yeah, that's good. I wanted to like this one. I wasn't too hot on it personally.
I mean, not much happens in it. It's just clearly whatever happens in this at the end of Batman 116 is just going to be set up for their own series. But I think the art is awesome. The colors are bright and fun.
Yeah, I like the art a lot. Gives me Riley Rossmo feels.
Yeah,
I know you hate him, so you probably don't like
I don't hate. That's a strong word. It's just I don't really care for it, but this is, I think, much better than that. But yeah,
I think it's I like how Stephanie and Cassie are together too. I will say that because Stephanie is a kind of a goofball, and Cassie does not know how to be around goofballs clearly. So it's a fun
for jokes. Yeah.
So that was pretty good.
Also, I'm so glad that they changed up Stephanie's design a little bit because, like, that looks awesome. Yeah, I love her suit right there. So yeah, even though this, like, not much happened in the story and it's fine, I'm still just so hyped for that book to come out. So
I got you, man. What would you give this as a whole?
Probably a 6.
I was at about 7, so And since you are taking a sip of your beverage, I'll just start up with Thor. So this is Donnie Cates and Pascal Ferry and Bob Quinn on the art. It's issue 18. And what did you think? Because you are the Thor boy of this group.
I thought it was fantastic.
I did too.
It's goofy, but you know what? It's fine to mix goofy after some of the heavy stuff we've gotten. And how can you not like Throg?
Yeah, so I wasn't super hot on the Thor and Loki combo at the beginning. I was kind of like, this won't be my favorite book. And then it's as soon as Thor starts talking to Throg, and then Throg's like breaking down who he needs to be in his group. I was like, okay, you've won me over. This is awesome.
And also, I love that he's like, yeah. I asked him 4 days ago. Like,
yeah.
But dude, the team is so cool, though.
Yeah. I mean, we got 2 dogs, so that's perfect.
I know. As soon as I saw Bats, I was like, oh, Casey's gonna like that.
Yeah, I love Bats. He was the best part of Donnie Cates's awesome Doctor Strange run.
which I really need to read.
It's really good. Like, yeah, it's just a really, really great, enjoyable time.
Yeah. But no, he's cool. Just in case anybody needs some like incentive to pick up this arc, Throg wants Bats the ghost dog, Lockjaw, um, Lockheed the dragon, and then Odin's ravens, hugging and munning. So I think that sounds like, oh, and their whole thing is they're spies. They have to figure out who stole Mjolnir. So
yeah, and so Donnie Cates said on Twitter that there's going to be the God of Hammers, because he's like, Thor is not the God of Hammers, this guy is, and that's the big thing that's going to be coming up. And so like I thought, and I was going to say, he's like, do you guys have any ideas who the God of Hammer could be? And so my first thing was going to be MC Hammer, but multiple other people did that joke, so I'm like, I'm not going to even try that joke now.
I don't know how I feel about that. A God of Hammers would have come up by now. So that's silly.
Could have been
it better be a dwarf. That's all I gotta say. And it won't be
an Egyptian God of Hammers. We don't know what his preference is yet.
Could be, but I don't know. I'm gonna have to be a stickler whenever that comes up. But anyway, I loved this book. I was with you on the Loki conversation. And because of that, instead of a perfect 10, this will be getting a 9 from me.
9 for me too. I'm so pumped for more Throg though. Love Throg.
Yeah, same.
You got his first appearance?
Yeah, I do actually.
Nice. I figured you would.
Yeah, it was one of those where you could get it for like $5 until Donnie Cates a year ago was like, I'm going to use Throg. And then everybody snatched him up and they're like, it's $100 now. It's like, nice. What? Why?
Because Excelsior. You're doing the same voice.
I know. I created Throg.
All right. Yeah, I'll let you do this since I talked twice. What are you doing over there? I see that arm moving.
So I'm trying to get like my last stand hour on
my watch. Okay. And it just looked a little odd.
I know. I'm over here shaking my arm.
You're like doing this.
That is so not true. Over here? Come on.
I know how big it is.
Anyway. We've got Catwoman, Lonely City, Book 1. It is written, drawn, colored, and lettered by the amazing Cliff Chiang. And Casey kind of shared his quick thoughts earlier in the episode. I also loved it, though, man. I thought this was a great book.
Yeah. As Catwoman's biggest fan, as I have been for years now, this is like the perfect book for us and the Catwoman fan club, because it has like all these like fun little things where like, oh, it's like kind of her, let's call it the litter box instead of the Bat Cave, where she's got like her old costumes and stuff, and we also get the animated series costume in this one, which is cool. And like you're dealing with basically old Catwoman, so like it's not just, oh, can I do this job? It's like, will my knees hold up? Mm-hmm. And oh man, it's just such a cool thing. The world that Cliff made was so interesting. I'm here for the ride. I'm so excited.
Yeah. And also how funny was Old Man Croc.
Yeah, I loved Old Man Croc. I loved all the old villains. Like Two-Face is, a slimy douche, which is kind of the thing that he's supposed to be. But like Old Man Penguin was great. And I'm just excited to see more of the old villains too when that, when that stuff pops up.
And also props to Cliff for bringing back Ma Hunkle.
Yes, I loved that too. Oh man, just everything about this book I loved.
Yeah. Yeah, do you want to give like the brief what it's about for the listeners?
Yeah, so basically Batman and who else did it say died? Because I know you told me Nightwing. Okay. Oh yeah, and then Nightwing and even Alfred was dead too. Like they're all dead now. Catwoman was framed for it. She just got out of jail after 10 years. Some people are mad that she's out of jail. and it's kind of revealed the only reason she got brought out of jail is because Two-Face is trying to get reelected because he's mayor somehow. I don't know how he got those votes, but yeah. So now Catwoman's like trying to prove that she still got it because everyone's like, you're old, you cannot be a good cat burglar if you're old. And so now she's gonna do a job, and I'm really excited for that. The art's incredible. The only thing that you can say I don't like about this book is the size. But I will say, if you have a coffee table, this is like perfect coffee table comic book material. Like it's like exactly what you would want in your coffee table. Cliff Chang's art is perfect for that.
Yep, I agree completely.
So what would you give it?
Oh, it's a 10 from me.
10 for me too. If you're surprised by that, then it's like, wow, really?
Yeah, if you guys like Catwoman or even don't like Catwoman, this is so different from regular Catwoman that you might actually like it.
And if you just like really good art, like that's the big thing. Like Cliff Chang is, in my opinion, one of the coolest artists out there, and he is a really good writer too. And I think he actually, I'm kind of taking a little bit of stuff that I remember seeing Mark Waid talk about. I think he kind of helped write the stuff that he did with Mark Waid. Maybe not, but he probably did somehow. And like this is like stuff I remember, like vaguely remember him saying on Twitter or something. So like take that with a grain of salt. But I think he's kind of got the practice in through the years, and now he's writing this, and he is killing it. And yeah, don't just read by characters you like. Read by the creators because they're the ones getting paid.
Yeah, agreed. All right. Well, with 2 minutes to spare, Casey, we survived the hour.
Good. So, what are you going to be excited for this coming week, man?
Well, Casey, it's great that you asked me. I'm gonna go with Wonder Girl, 100%.
Yeah.
My most hyped. I can also say Robin. And then DC versus Vampires. Really looking forward to that one.
Nice. I'm going to say Daredevil, Adventure Man, and I'm going to go Task Force Z because I knew I was going to do Task Force Z or DC versus Vampires. I was like, I'm going to try both of them out. It's Halloween. I want to get scared. So, let's go with the one he doesn't choose.
Excellent.
So now it's Fantastic Four time. So I want you to tell me 4 hot takes that you have that may get your nerd card revoked.
Sure. The first one, Casey, is that I believe Superman is boring and OP. Just kidding. I do not believe that at all. That was my troll answer.
I got you, man.
I've said some of these on this show before. The first one that I do believe is that Iron Man just isn't that cool.
You haven't read the right Iron Man then.
And I agree with that statement. But until I do read Matt Fraction's Iron Man, he's not interesting to me. Another one is that the original Star Trek just isn't as good as what came after. And by that, I mostly mean Next Generation and Deep Space Nine. But a lot of people that love the original think Next Gen isn't good at all, and I'm just complete opposite on that.
Yeah.
Next, I also think that Barry Allen is kind of boring, and that Wally is just way better as a Flash and a character in general. And my final hot take is that The Phantom Menace is the best prequel Star Wars movie.
I think the hottest of those takes is that last one. Some of those other ones were kind of lukewarm at best, bud.
Yeah, well, I saved the hottest one for last.
Okay, so mine, and this, I don't know how you're going to feel about this, but I'm going to say, as much as I love the animated DC stuff, like, from when we were kids, animated Superman is trash.
Ooh, that is a hot take.
Yeah. Well, I mean, think about it. Like, it's just like, oh, I get beat up all the time. I can't do that. Like, I'm, like he just gets beat by everybody. Like he'll be fighting like that electricity chick, and electricity now hurts him. Yeah, and then in the last episode of the Justice League Unlimited, we get super Darkseid with Brainiac powers, and then Superman's like, "I've been holding back this whole time. I'm so strong." And then another one, Christopher Nolan's Batman series is actually one of the lamest, like worst Batman interpretations in series. It's just really well acted, so people pretend it's really good, but it's like it's not that good when you think about it that way.
I would like to add in another like lukewarm take to that. Batman Begins is the best of that trilogy.
Oh, 100%. Like the only reason why people like the Dark Knight is because Heath Ledger does a really good job as Joker, but that movie itself, I'm not too hot on. Trying to think of the X-Men peaked when they were just a team, but when they kept adding characters, it's just like, what's the point of enjoying this book?
Okay.
Because like now it's like, oh well, we have 5,000 members of this team and we live on an island together. It's like, oh boy, way to make me not want to read this garbage. And then trying to think of one more. Oh, I'll say this. The only reason why DC and Marvel are still able to make comic books is it's just because they're old. Because it's like they do so many stupid things, but they have this set continuity that people know what their characters are. But they aren't doing smart things with it. So it's like, if like Image had their own set universe, outside of Image United, they'd be cleaning the floors with them because they take care of their talent better and more people want to work for them. But they just can't do that because they
don't have Batman.
Yeah, they don't have Batman. They don't have the X-Men. So it's like, oh, well, what are you gonna do? And they also don't have their own universe. That's the big thing.
All right. Well, there's a good handful of hot takes for you folks.
Yeah, send us your spiciest takes or tell us why we are stupid.
Please do tell us why we're stupid. I'd love to hear why.
Yeah.
All right. I think that's the end of the episode.
I think so.
All right. Closing plug time. If you would, please go to facebook.com/2worldspodcast and give the page a like. You can also find us on Twitter at 2_worlds_PC and on Instagram at 2worldspod. You can email us at 2worldspodcast@gmail.com. And also, if you would, please go to our YouTube channel. That is just 2 Worlds Podcast on YouTube and subscribe. All right, guys. We'd love to stay and chat, but we have to go get matching jumpsuits together and get that bowl cut a little trim. So we'll see you guys next time.
Bye.